Everybody talks about their favorite cut of steak. Well, to be honest with you, I can't afford tomahawk ribeyes or filet mignon every night of the week. So that's why I like to go for a cut that's a little bit more affordable. So today I've got a sirloin roast. Now, typically when it comes to sirloin, you're looking at half or sometimes a third of the cost of some of those more expensive cuts. And to be honest with you, it is still a very delicious cut. So today I'm gonna show you how I prepare one of my favorite weeknight steaks when we're just making dinner. Nothing fancy, but a good sirloin roast. Now let's get started. Now I got this sirloin roast from Certified Piedmontese. This is a 32 ounce, it comes trimmed. As you can see, there's some good fat in the meat, some good marbling. And to be honest with you, I consider a sirloin roast a poor man's beef tenderloin. A good sirloin is gonna have more flavor than a filet. Though it might not be as tender, it'll still be delicious, and if you cook it the right way, you're not gonna really care, especially when you're trying to make a more affordable weeknight meal. So when it comes to my steaks, I like to start off with a little bit of a binder. Get yourself some olive oil, put a little bit on your hand or your glove, and we're just gonna wipe the surface. Now I've already pat dried this with paper towel just to make sure that there was no extra juices or anything from the packaging. But we're gonna go ahead and wipe that down good with some olive oil, all sides. Then get yourself a good steak seasoning. I like the Bearded Butcher's Buttery Blend. That's one of my favorite steak seasonings. According to Scott and Seth, it is an addicting blend of sea salt and spices. So we're gonna use it tonight on this sirloin roast. Get yourself a nice coating. Since this is a thick piece of beef, we don't have to worry about really over seasoning it. I mean, you still could, but just be generous with it. And be sure to season all sides. Now, if you're interested in some of this Bearded Butcher's seasoning, this buttery blend, or any of their other seasonings, I've got a link down in the description that will get you over there and it'll tell them that I sent you. I tell you what, they really, truly make some delicious seasoning. And for me, they're also from Ohio. They're about 40 minutes or so from where I live. Actually gonna go pay them a visit here real soon. Now that we got the sirloin roast seasoned, we're just gonna roll it around here on the cutting board a little bit. That'll help get those seasonings to stick a little better and also pick up any remnants that we had on the cutting board. Now that we've got it seasoned, we're gonna let it sweat for a few minutes. We're gonna go get the Camp Chef prepared to sear this and to smoke it. Let's get over there and do it. Now, whenever I'm about to sear a steak on my griddle, I'm using some South Chicago Packing Wagyu beef tallow, and I like to just get some of that onto the surface of the griddle. It'll help give a nice sear on this sirloin roast. Griddle is nice and hot, and this sirloin roast isn't gonna cook itself. Let's get this onto the griddle here and get a nice sear on it. Listen to that sizzle. Now, though a sirloin roast isn't as delicate as a beef tenderloin, I'm going to cook and treat this exactly how I would if I was smoking and searing a beef tenderloin. Like I said, this is the poor man's or the weekday beef tenderloin when you're not looking to spend $120. You can pick up a sirloin roast a heck of a lot cheaper, and I got this one at Certified Piedmontese. You wanna make sure that you sear all the sides so that you get a nice, even crust on the outside. This sirloin roast is ready to get off the griddle. We've got the Camp Chef Woodwind Pro running with some hickory hardwood in the smoke box. We got the grill set to 225 degrees. We're gonna smoke this to a medium rare. Let's get it in here. This sirloin roast reached 130 degrees internal temperature. Now it's time to rest it. And I'm gonna show you a method that I have been messing around with lately. I saw Chef Logan from Camp Chef doing it on a tomahawk, and that is resting your steak in some plastic wrap or some saran wrap. Now we're going to roll it nice and tight into that plastic wrap. And if you notice the way that I wrapped this, I kept the seams up to the top. That way, while the juices are in there collecting, they stay in and they're not leaking out all over the place. As you can see, it's dry up underneath. And we're gonna go ahead and rest this for about 20 minutes, and then we're gonna cut into this and see how damn good it turned out. We let the Certified Piedmontese sirloin roast rest for about 20 minutes wrapped up in this cellophane. And I tell you what, it is so juicy. It is full of juice. So I have to be careful when I open this or else these juices are gonna go everywhere. There is a giant puddle of juice underneath. And this roast has just been sitting in it. I'm gonna save this off to the side. But now, all of our work means nothing until we give it a try. We cook this to 130 degrees internal temperature, so we're gonna be looking around that medium rare. We season this with the Bearded Butcher's buttery seasoning, and let me tell you what, it smells absolutely incredible. We get a good whiff of that hardwood smoke, we get a whiff of that seasoning, and this looks incredible. Let's give it a try. Perfect edge to edge medium rare. We got a nice little slice there. We're gonna cut this, give it a try. Now earlier I called this the poor man's beef tenderloin or poor man's filet. When it comes to sirloin, you don't have the same amount of tenderness, but you have a much beefier, earthier taste than you do with filet. Filet is known as the king of steaks, but that's only because of tenderness. When it comes to flavor, there are much better steaks out there, and this sirloin here does not disappoint. Now, when it comes to resting the steak, that method using the cling wrap or the cellophane, whatever you want to call it, it's absolutely genius. It captures all of that moisture and just traps it around the meat so there's nowhere for it to go, and it makes for an incredibly juicy cut. I mean, I can squeeze juices out, but I don't really want to do that. You can see even after we removed it from those juices, it's still dripping out all over the place. This makes a great weekday meal, a great and affordable weekday meal. So if you're looking for more good recipes and more good tips this summer, then check out this video right here.